Hello, I'm Alex and welcome back to my podcast. I feel like it's been so long since I've done one of these podcasts. I've been so busy, guys. I have so many little life updates to tell you about, and then we can talk about the thing that's actually been on my mind that I was inspired to record this podcast about. Firstly, life updates. I have just, as of yesterday, submitted my final essay for uni. Let me quickly correct that though, because some people have thought that to mean that I'm done with university. No, I was only in my first year. I'm done with my first year of university, but I'm basically done until I think my next year starts in October, maybe September. But for a few months, I'm done. So I am free for a little while, and I feel like when I hit that submit, I suddenly had this really weird mindset shift. The first thing I did after days of not speaking to anyone because I was really locking in on this essay because I was super late with actually starting it, it probably was not very good. I suddenly just cleaned my whole room, and then I just sat and meditated for ages, and then I read the Dhammapada. I don't know what has possessed me. I feel whatever spiritual zen vibe I was on before starting my degree, and that I was a bit concerned about because I was wait, why am I not really able to tap into that? I think I was just too busy, and not just busy, but the way I make myself busy in regards to commitments is I just don't do them and then stress about them. But that's the thing, it's not even that I actively stress about it. It's not I'm oh, I have a ginormous essay that is due in 3 days and I've not even done the readings for them yet, and I have to just I really have to crack on with that. It's not I'm actively anxious, because that's always the kind of student I've been. And also not to be cocky, but I've always been fine. I've never had to deal with the punishment of that, so there's nothing really for me to be anxious about. But that is still obviously I must be a bit anxious, because that's still a really intense position to be in. And I think because of that, I just wasn't really able to tap into that kind of slow living vibe that I was on before, and now I am. Obviously I'm still working. That's another thing also. I think I was kind of downplaying how busy I was. I was a full-time student and also a full-time worker. I think the reason I don't really feel that is because my work is very relaxed. A lot of the time when I say I'm working, it's I'm editing videos, and that is I can go do that in the park, I can go do that at my friend's house. I'm still having to work, but it's not the same as when I used to actually have to go and work in a fast food chain, and I was behind the huge oil chip thing, and it's super hot, and I'm not allowed to leave, and I'm not allowed to pee. And it was just well, I was allowed to pee, that's a lie, but I had to ask to go pee, and it was just very intense. Whereas it doesn't feel that intense because of that. I don't feel I'm working as many hours as I actually do. Anyways, I'm going off, but basically I have so much more free time than I did before. And what has come of that is I just suddenly, oh my god, I was journaling last night. I journaled today. I journaled. I feel the old Soggy Rice 3 is back. I feel the old Soggy Rice 3 was gone for a little bit because I really had to focus on my degree, but they're back now. And yeah, I hope that you guys are happy to hear that as well, because sometimes I look back on my old content and I'm oh, this was really good, and I feel I've not been able to tap in to what I was doing before. But I think it's just because I was so busy. It's a lot of what I want to talk about, for example today I want to talk about something, a lot of it is very emotionally tied or requires a lot of reflection, and I didn't really have the emotional space to reflect on those things, if that makes sense. But yeah, so life updates. I'm free for a few months now. I'm really happy about it. I've been journaling again for a little while now, but today and yesterday I've really been journaling. I woke up and the first thing I did was I need to write. I feel so much I need to write. And yeah, I'm really excited. I've got some books that I'm currently reading as well. I'm reading the Dhammapada and the Post Office Girl, and I also want to read this philosophy book as well. So basically, I just feel the old Soggy Rice 3 is back. I understand the vibe that I was on before. I feel I lost it. And then the moment I handed in that essay, I was she's back. Also, another thing, a random thing before we talk about what I want to talk about today, is I am doing this little experiment based off of this TikTok I saw. I don't remember the name of the TikToker. I will put the TikTok up on the screen, but I know it's really annoying because this is a podcast, so I'll also explain what it is. It's basically this TikTok where someone has covered their mirror with a scarf, and the caption on the TikTok is something we weren't meant to see ourselves so much. That is something that I have thought about quite a lot, especially in regards to my job, and especially when I used to model. In the past, this is such a level 1 thought. I'm sure everyone listening to this has thought this before as well, but before, and I say before, whatever, in the caveman times, I don't really know how historically accurate this is going to be, we would see ourselves only in I don't know, reflections in like bodies of water, for example, we wouldn't really like have these mirrors that surround us all the time. And for me, like every time I go to the loo, I have a mirror in my bathroom, and then I come back into my room and I've got a huge floor length mirror in my room. And when I sit on my bed, I can see myself in my mirror. When I sit on the floor, I can see myself in the mirror. And because of that, I'm always surrounded by my reflection. And then like when I was modeling, I also was like having to look at pictures of myself a lot and having to really fuss over the way I looked, had to fuss over my reflection, had to make sure that my skin was looking great, that my hair was looking great, that I was looking great. It was also just really weird, like I had to take my measurements once a week and stuff. It was really weird. Whereas now I'm not having to do it in such a like, I don't know, like mechanical way, in a way that's like so overseen by someone else, if that makes sense. But I'm still like, right now I'm looking at myself because I'm recording on my phone. Also sorry that I'm not recording on my nice camera. I don't know why, I just really wanted, like, I think it's like the old Soggy Rice 3. I'm tapped back in. I really wanted to have it like cozy, like how it used to be. But also like when I like have to post pictures and videos of myself regularly, when I edit videos of myself, I'm just looking at my face constantly. And I just suddenly was like, that's such a good idea to just like cover my mirror, especially because what I've been doing the past few days as I've been like doing my essays, I've had my phone off. Also guys, screen addiction has been so gone recently. It's been so good. I've just had my phone off. Like all of yesterday I had my phone off, except for I switched it on for 1 minute, I think, because I had to check something that was only checkable on my phone. I literally checked it for 1 minute and then switched my phone back off. It's been so good. Because of that, I've not really been surrounded by my reflection or my image at all for the past few days. And I haven't got any thoughts yet. I do feel a bit different, but that could be like so many other things. So I don't want to like point to anything specific and say like, this is because I've not been looking at myself as much. What I'm going to say is this is like a experiment in progress. Results are pending. I'll let you guys know what I think. It's really nice because like I can still use my mirror. I just have to actively be like, okay, now I want to engage with my reflection because I want to do my like evening skincare. So I'm going to choose to move the like scarf to the side, do my skincare, and then I put the scarf back into place. So yeah, it's been nice to very purposely be like, okay, now I'm gonna look at myself. But I'm not also suggesting this is something you should do. This is literally just like an experiment, so we'll see what I find from it. I'm curious to see if I feel anything, if I think anything. Basically I just feel amazing. I feel like all my old good habits have just suddenly like re-entered my body without me even having to try anything. And I think it's just glee over the fact that I have so much free time. I feel like I was built to be unemployed, and I know this is such a like, everyone probably feels this way. Well actually no, because I know some people that love working. I really don't like being tied to like a schedule and deadlines and stuff, and I just have to grow up and I have to do it. Like I mean I do, because now I am able to maintain this job, which is like difficult because it's like very self-motivated. Like a lot of deadlines and stuff, it's easy to just like pretend they're not there, because if I don't open my emails then those deadlines aren't there. So like I feel like I have gotten better with it. I think I used to be a lot more when I was young. Like I was much more stubborn about like, I never want to work but I have to work. I think I was also probably like a bit traumatized because there was one point, which I've mentioned before I think on here, where I was working like 60 hours a week, but I was also really sleep deprived because I was working 2 jobs, where I was working at this fast food place until 3 a.m. and then I was working in a cafe that I'd have to open about like 7 a.m. so I'd have to wake up early and like go to the cafe to open for 7 a.m. So if I had a 3 a.m. close and a 7 a.m. open, I wasn't really sleeping. And I think because I was really young, that was like right after I finished school, I think I associated that with work, which also might be why now I don't feel like I'm working full time, because I'm working really reasonable hours and I'm sleeping really well and I'm able to take care of myself if I need. Whereas back then I was like crazy. Like I was really like, I ended up being signed off work because my health was just so bad at the time. So I think maybe that also might be why I was so stubbornly like, I cannot ever work, because I thought that that's what it meant to work, and I was like, never again. But then obviously like I have to work because I have to make money. I also say like, then I was like, oh, I never want to work. I want to make it clear, because I know some people are lucky enough to be able to like live with their parents and not work. I have always had to work. Like the feeling of I never want to work was not anything that could ever be materialized. Like I always had to work. I worked while I was at school, but like the moment I left school, like I have always been in employment from what I remember. Like I think it's very rare that I've had periods of unemployment. So I just also want to make that clear, that it's not like I'm like, oh, I never want to work and I don't have to because I will be financially supported by my mother. Like I have had to work. How did I even get to this? Anyways, the thing that I want to talk to you guys about, which it's like a seed of a thought. It's not something I've actually fully developed, and I also feel like it's quite obvious. So I wonder where we will go from here, because the seed of the thought that I have is something that is super like like 13-year-old thought that for some reason has just reached me really late, and maybe from that we'll be able to develop something. For a bit of background context, I have an incredibly low pain tolerance. Like I am very sensitive. Partly I think that is like, I don't really like, I'm going to use these terms but I don't entirely know what they mean. All I really know is how it feels to be me. I have like sensory processing issues to do with like the fact that I'm neurodivergent. Like I do struggle with certain sensory experiences. I struggle, they are very overwhelming. But additionally, I think, and this is where I'm not sure if this is like an actual thing or not, I think I actually just am physically like, I register pain. I don't think so. It's not just like as a processing thing, but I think pain actually does feel worse. And that's obviously something that I can't measure. The reason I think that, first of all, I've just had a lot of experiences where like the same thing will happen to me in another person and I will be crying my eyes out and they'll be fine. But one like quite significant where I was like, okay, like the evidence I needed was I went to a dentist once for a hygiene appointment and they were like doing something to my teeth where I had to ask for a break because it was so painful. And they said that most people actually aren't able to even really feel that, or if they do, it's like very mild. Whereas for me, I registered it as painful. So I think that's where I said I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if that is also because of sensory processing issues, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I feel pain very intensely. And I think because of that, I have a lot of like fear around feeling pain. Like I really cannot stand the idea of being in pain, and I also cannot stand physical discomfort. When I am in a situation where I'm feeling a lot of pain, I genuinely, and like not in a serious way, I don't want to like make light of these feelings, but I genuinely sometimes feel like I don't want to live because I want to make this experience of pain and discomfort stop. It's not serious because I would never do anything about that. What I mean is just like I sometimes ask myself in those situations, like, because I'm curious, would you rather continue living or stop living entirely, never be able to live again and stop this experience? And almost always I would rather stop the experience of pain. Obviously then like the pain goes away and then I'm like, oh la la la, I'm fine. But I think that's why I am nervous always about like then being in pain again, because I recognize how like intensely I react to it, where like emotionally I'm like, I can't process this, I would rather not be here anymore than feel this pain. I talk quite a lot on here about my fear of death, and something that like I also feel is, even if I'm not scared of the actual experience, or not the experience but I guess the lack of experience, like I'm not scared of actually not being here anymore, something that I'm really scared of is the process of dying. At times that's changed, like at points it was the fact that like when you are in the process of dying, you are the only person experiencing that, you are entirely alone in that experience of death and of dying. And that was largely because of reading The Death of Ivan Ilyich. That like really messed me up for a little while because I'd never thought about it that way. But another thing, and I think like linked to that, is the fact that it is probably really painful. Like something I think a lot about drowning. I don't want to drown, not because I don't want to die, but because I don't want to even for a moment experience what it must be like to drown. I don't want to ever be in that much pain. I can't even imagine how much pain that is, but because I'm not even able to handle like quite regular, like I don't know, like a paper cut, how would I be able to experience that? And I don't know, the two might be very linked actually, now that I think about the thing about loneliness and about pain. I think something that I don't like about pain is that like that is something that I experience alone, and I think I'm really lucky to have really warm sweetie pie people around me, particularly like my friends and my partner. If I'm feeling bad, they are so like, oh diddums, like come here sweetie, like they're really lovely. But when I'm in pain, they can't meet me there. I'm the one that's experiencing pain, and I think it makes me feel really alone. And this is separate to like, also it's not just this existential like, whoa, actually I experience life entirely as this single vessel that can never truly be intertwined with another vessel. Like it's not just that, it also is just like I'm a wuss and I don't like being in pain. But yeah, I think I've just realized I think it is also tied to that kind of loneliness aspect, that like no one can experience this with me. I have to go through this experience entirely alone. It is really bad though. Like for example, right now I'm a bit uncomfortable because I have this blister that, like, guys, also let me know what the hell this might be. I don't know. I had this blister randomly appear on my face, but I didn't burn my face, and I'm fine everywhere else. I just like had a blister suddenly appear, and I've been putting Vaseline on it. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but apparently that helps to like make sure it doesn't scar when it heals. But I'm so aware of it as I speak, and I can just feel that there is something there, and it doesn't hurt. It has hurt at points, but right now it doesn't hurt. I'm just uncomfortable, and I'm aware of that discomfort. Immediately, my experience of life is like 10% less enjoyable. No, more than that, like 30% less enjoyable, because I'm aware of something slightly uncomfortable on my face. And it's weird because I'm a very, like in other ways, very tough person. Like I'm able to handle very intense emotional pain pretty well. it's just physical. Like, this is strictly a very physical bodily discomfort that I'm unable to handle. The problem is obviously, like, I do feel pain. I am often in situations where I'm in a lot of pain. My last video, which was my May favorites, I ended up speaking loads about the fact that I have horrific period cramps, which I have not been, well, no, I've been seen by a doctor about it. My doctor was just kind of like nuts, to be honest. Like, it was really like medical misogyny. My doctor said that the reason I have period pain so bad that I like actually used to like nearly black out. Like, I was blacking out. I would have to like throw myself into the bath. I'd be panting like an animal from the amount of pain I was in. And my doctor said it is because women store their emotions in the uterus. So on days when my period's that bad, maybe I'm just being a little bit more emotional than usual. So I didn't go back to my doctor. I think I might maybe ask to see a different doctor. Basically, blah, 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 blah. Since that uploading that video, I did more research about other random symptoms I have too. And I do feel like my experience aligns with endometriosis. Obviously, I am not diagnosed with that. This is like stage 1 where I'm just kind of having the idea that maybe that is potentially something I experience. But like a big reason for that is that like the intensity of the pain I feel really aligns with like other stories of how intense the pain is when you have endometriosis. I also have like loads of other random symptoms, but anyways, I do experience a lot of pain in my life. Around my period, it is so bad that I'm sometimes unable to move because I'm in so much pain. So like, I need to get over it. I also feel discomfort a lot. I can't stand when it's hot. I get really faint when it's hot. And what, am I gonna just like pause living whenever it's like a heat wave, especially now with how many heat waves we have? Like, no, I have to continue. Right now I have this blister on my face and it's really uncomfortable. Am I gonna have to just stop living? Like, no, I need to get over it, and I need to be able to handle discomfort and pain. Sorry, that was such long context. I feel like I've been talking for so long. I think I've just missed talking to you guys, so suddenly I'm like, but basically, the level 1 thought is just that I was speaking to my mum's friend about it. No, I was speaking to my friend's mum about it, and she said something about how, like, she kind of checked me. She kind of pointed out in a very nice way about how privileged it is to be like, oh, I can't stand being in pain like every now and then. And she was like, look, like in a lot of places and in a lot of times, it was very normal to be in a lot of pain. For example, there were times, this is all very non-historical by the way, there were times and there are still places where children have to work very difficult, like physical labor jobs, and it is very, very uncomfortable for their bodies, but that discomfort is just part of their lives, and they just accept like pain is a part of their life. And I was thinking about how, like, first of all, grateful I am that like pain is not a regular part of my life, but then I was like, but it could be. Like, I could have pain as a regular part of my life. For example, another thing, again, like all these worries about future pain I might have, I like overpronate like crazy when I walk, and I've been told by a doctor that like that's probably going to lead to a lot of hip pain when I'm old, and I'm nervous about that now at like 22. I'm like, oh my god, when I'm old I'm probably gonna have hip pain. Like, yeah, I probably am, and it's mad that I'm like unable to like have a good time now because of the pain I might be in when I'm older. And I think my mum's friend oh god, my friend's mum, I think my friend's mum saying like, for a lot of people, like obviously she just used like children working as an example, but like for a lot of people, being in pain is just a part of their life, and they just have to like accept that and choose to keep living and choose to keep loving their lives. Really quickly, like for me, like I think growing up with a lot of like, I'm great now, but growing up I had a lot of issues with my health, and that wasn't really like physically uncomfortable, but it did manifest in me being really like depressed at points in my life. And I think because of that, like I mentioned at one point in this video, like I am fine dealing with emotional discomfort. I accept emotional discomfort. I'm really good now. Like I genuinely am really, really mentally well, but I think a large part of that is because I was so mentally unwell growing up. Because of that, like I'm able to be like, okay, like for example, when sometimes I get like really badly seasonally depressed, I'm able to be like, okay, now I am seasonally depressed, but I still, even though I feel so horrible and I don't want to get out of bed, and I genuinely in my heart feel like there is no joy at all in the world, I still am choosing to get up, and I still am going to make myself a nice, beautiful, delicious big breakfast, and I am still going to clean my room, and I'm still going to take care of myself, and I'm able to kind of just chug along in a way that I can't with physical pain. I think partly because I've been really lucky to not have to actually like live through much physical pain, but again, I don't want to downplay the pain that I have experienced. It's just never been physical, and I think maybe that's why I kind of like, when I feel physical discomfort, I'm like, whoa, this is like a horrible new experience that I don't want anything to do with. And basically I kind of like, after speaking to my friend's mum, I like tried to reframe the way I view pain as more so how I view, I guess, like emotional pain, which is that like, to consent to be alive, to choose to be alive, I am choosing to accept pain. Like I have to accept pain, or I could not, and I could be miserable whenever I'm in pain like I am now. But like to be alive is to be in pain sometimes. And it's weird because yeah, like I said, I've wrapped my head around the emotional pain aspect, but I don't know why I'm so averse to, like, I can't stand the idea of being in physical pain. Weirdly, thinking about it that way helped. And again, I feel like this is so obvious, and also like I don't know if there's any people who are watching this who do struggle with like long-term pain, who do have maybe like issues with their health that lead to them just being in pain a lot of the time. If so, like I'm also really sorry that you had to hear my like really privileged take of like, oh my god, sometimes my like period pains flare up like for 1 week in the month and it's like super painful. Like it's like, yeah, basically that's my point, I guess, is I realized how silly it was and how rooted in this assumption that like I deserve to be pain-free all the time. I've managed to kind of finally like lock that view about pain into my like general, more core value system. And one of my kind of core value system ideas, which I'm going to explain really poorly now because it's really more of a feeling, is this understanding that like I am not any more deserving than anyone else who exists or anything else that exists. I am not any more deserving of joy, of wonder, of happiness, of health, of safety than any other human being alive. And I don't know why that didn't like, I mean, I rationally know that about pain. I'm not any more deserving of being pain-free than anyone else, but I wouldn't act like that because then whenever I'd experience like a little, like I'd stub my toe and I'd be like, oh my God, this is happening to me. This shouldn't be happening to me. But it's like, no, like why would it not happen to me over anyone else? And I think like kind of interpreting that through the way I interpret other things and through that more general value system, which is that like to be alive is consenting to all these things that happen to all these people. Those things could happen. That doesn't mean that it's fair, right? If now I were to, I don't know, let's say it is endometriosis and let's say it gets worse. And let's say that I actually am like really, like I couldn't imagine being in more pain, to be honest, with how bad the period pains get sometimes. But let's say they do get even worse. That is not fair. I don't deserve to be in that much pain, but no one deserves to be in that much pain, you know? I'm not any less deserving of that pain than anyone else. That doesn't mean it's fair. That doesn't mean I also shouldn't go see a doctor about it. But I feel like this like sudden feeling of like, why me, like, no, this can't be happening to me, I feel like is quite irrational, and also just ends up causing like it's irrational because it causes me more pain, because then I'm mentally fighting against the fact that it's even happened. And I feel like I need to tap back in, especially now that my essays are over and I'm able to be zen again. I need to tap back into that radical acceptance. Some people misunderstand when I talk about acceptance, and this is more so when I used to talk about it more. I feel like I've not spoken about it in a while because I've been a student, and because of that, for some reason I was unable to be chill. When I used to talk about acceptance, some people thought that meant like, oh, if someone smacks me across the face, I accept I've been smacked in the face and then I won't do anything about it. No, if someone smacks me in the face, I would say like, hey, can you not smack me in the face, please? That's really, really unkind. What's your problem? Assuming it's a friend. If it was like a stranger, I'd probably like, I don't know, like go find a safe space. But to accept it is like, what I mean by accepting is that rather than being like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to me, no, this couldn't have happened, and really fighting against the reality that like it did happen, just being like, no, like it did happen, and now what am I going to do about it, rather than fighting against the fact that like it even happened in the first place. Something also I like to think about is the fact that like what I am craving in those moments where I'm like, oh my God, no, like I can't believe that my best friend smacked me across the face. Okay, let's actually come up with a better example. Oh my God, I just thought of one and it like actually like sent a shiver down my spine. Let's imagine that my best friend is cheating on me with my boyfriend. Wait, no, I mean my boyfriend cheating on me with my best friend. But no, if my best friend got with my boyfriend, I feel like she's cheating on me too. Like both of them are cheating on me. Literally like nightmare situation. If that has happened to any of you, like I genuinely like, I feel like I cannot imagine many worse things. But let's imagine that happened, right? To accept that, I don't mean to be like, okay guys, and you guys are still my best friend and my boyfriend, and I want to hang out with you guys still, and I completely am fine that this happened. That's not what I mean by like accept that it happened. I mean just like, rather than fight against the truth, just to be like, okay, my best friend is sleeping with my boyfriend, hypothetically, and I now choose to distance myself from both of them because that isn't the relationship I consented to with either of them. I don't want to be close with someone who is so careless with my feelings, and I choose to cut both of them off, and I let go of the situation. And I guess then the second point that I wanted to make, which I felt that this hypothetical would like illustrate a bit better, is that I think when I push back too much against accepting a situation for what it is, what I am doing actually is I am like craving for a universe in which that didn't happen. I think that kind of explains what I mean better, because I feel like what I'm saying is really obvious, but I'm trying to get to something a bit deeper and I'm doing it really miserably because I've not spoken about these things in a while. So when I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, no, why me, this shouldn't happen, la la la, what I'm thinking about is like, I am imagining a situation in which my best friend and my boyfriend weren't sleeping together, But that universe does not exist. There is no universe in which that didn't happen. And so I have to accept, no, I am in the universe, the only universe in which my boyfriend and my best friend did sleep together. What am I going to do with that knowledge now? And I don't know why none of these like weird, like unnecessarily like very intense spiritual philosophical ideas about the world I have that like allow me to actually like feel really comfortable and happy and zen in the world in a way that's kind of roundabout. And I feel like it's just a really like the longest path possible, like the scenic route to acceptance. I don't know why that doesn't apply to pain. And basically now that like it's been pointed out to me so obviously, I suddenly am like, oh, when, for example, I'm having those horrific cramps, awful period cramps where I'm in so, like, I can't stress how painful they are. I'm not able to move because I'm in so much pain. Instead of being like, no, why me? This shouldn't be happening to me. I don't deserve this. That's not what I rationally think. But, like, maybe that's, like, what I think deep down. Maybe that's why I'm having such a strong emotional aversion to pain. What I am craving is a universe in which I am not in pain. And that universe does not exist. I am in the universe in which I'm in pain. So what am I going to do about it? Probably I should take a paracetamol because even though I'm in so much pain, not because I'm a medical skeptic, I think it's just because I grew up with Eastern European family who are all like, I'll just tough it out because I'm so strong and I want to do things the natural way. So first of all, I should probably take a paracetamol, take little sips of water, call my brother or something to go and get me a hot water bottle, please, and then book a doctor's appointment with a different doctor to speak to about what I'm feeling. I don't know, I just feel like this is so obvious. I'm sure anyone who has thought about pain before has thought of this, but I just really never thought about it so simply. And I think especially because I'm so scared of being in pain, I feel like this has really helped me. When I am dying and I'm in pain, there is no universe in which I was not dying and not in pain. When I die and I'm in pain, there's no need to say like, oh, well, maybe it's not my time to go yet. Oh, well, maybe if I'd done this, then I wouldn't be dying and in pain right now. When I'm dying and I'm in pain, that is what is happening, and I have to just accept that is what is happening. And if I'm in horrible pain and my body's in horrible pain, I just have to accept it because I'm in that situation now. There's nothing else I can do. Me feeling awful about it is not going to help if I'm dying and I'm in pain. And this has been the worst Soggy Roast 3 podcast episode because I am genuinely speaking about things that are so obvious, but I just never thought about it that way. I made some notes. Let's check if I actually have even stuck to the notes. Yeah, okay. I didn't really write much. I basically wrote what I've said now, which is that, yeah, I used to be so scared of pain. And I think it's because painlessness was seen as my default. And I couldn't believe that the universe dared to set me out of my default and have me feel a little bit of pain in my stubbed toe. But basically, I think that might really help me. I think that mindset towards pain has really helped. And I think that it's nice. It's been a nice refresher of what I feel deepest downest anyways, which is this kind of radical acceptance. Like, I feel like it has been my guiding light in my life. Thank you, Stoicism. Thank you, like, meditating loads when I was young. Thank you, having really, like, hippie spiritual friends. Thank you, universe, for teaching me radical acceptance. It's just so good. It's just so good. And I did think for a while, like, maybe it's just, like, as a way of coping with pain, but, like, yeah, because when you are in a situation, it's like, I could argue about the injustice of the situation and stuff, but I can do that in a different way. Like, I think so many people just think that I'm just like, I don't know, I allow people to be horrible to me and I allow people to like step all over me and then I don't do anything about it because I just accept. Like, no, I think I've got really good, firm personal boundaries. I've gotten way better at handling conflict and stuff like that. I feel like, no, not at all. Like, I'm very good at being like, I don't like this, so I don't want this to happen. I don't like that. But the point is, I am approaching all of that not from I don't want this to happen to me and I can't believe that has happened and I'm so upset because it even has happened and now I'm going to really ruminate about the fact that it has happened and I can't believe it even could have happened to me. Instead, I'm just like, no, I don't like that happened, but it did. So what am I going to do about it? I'm sorry that this has been not like the most profoundly interesting or anything like podcast. I feel like this has been more so like for myself than for you guys. I hope that you guys bear with because I'm booting back up to spiritual Alex, but I feel like I have to like remember the core lessons again, and the core lessons I've already shared with you guys. So I'm sure for you guys this is a boring recap. Oh, where you're such a baby Alex, what, you're in pain and you forgot to remember that you are no less deserving of pain than anyone else in the world. Pff, okay, level 1 stoic. But I have been out of the loop with this kind of thinking for a while because I've just been so busy, and I think I've been so emotionally busy, if that makes sense, especially because like I know that I'm keeping my course like a secret, and I've not been speaking about uni. and that's just like not for any deep boundary. I just for some reason was like, oh, what if I just like don't ever talk about the degree that I'm doing in order to kind of have a bit of separation from my work and my studying. And since doing that, I've been very comfortable. So just know that is why I don't talk about my degree online. But it is quite an intense degree in terms of like what is expected of me, not even like emotionally. It's not like I'm doing anything that hands-on, but like it is quite intense in regards to like the things I'm learning. It takes a lot out of me in a way that isn't like, I don't know, the way that like studying medicine takes a lot of time out of you and it takes a lot of effort to like learn, right? It's more so like it takes a lot out of me that also this job takes from me, and because of that I just haven't had the room to explore how I feel and what I think and to remind myself to sharpen the mind. But now I have the time to again, so hopefully I'll be back with something a bit more profound to talk about next time, because this was really level 1 stuff. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. I don't know if you can tell how much more alive I feel. It might just all be in my head, maybe I don't come across any different at all. So let me know if you feel like I'm acting a bit different in this video. Please let me know any thoughts you have in the comments. Please like this video if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I like to talk a lot, I chat a lot. I tend to talk about books and journaling and living slow and the kind of stuff I spoke about in this podcast today, and I feel like I'll be doing a lot better talking now that I'm free, because before I feel like I was very in my head, and I don't know if that came across in my videos. I will disappear again in October when my degree starts again, but for now you can enjoy me while I'm here. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week, hopefully with something a little bit more interesting to talk about. Bye bye.